My name is Dmitry. I'm the CBDO at Zorka.Mobi, and well, I would love to start with introducing you the company. We are 4 years old, and we work with the global clients. We do user acquisition for them, and influencer marketing is a part of our services. And I'll focus mostly on influencer marketing part. We started doing influencer marketing almost 2 years ago, and that team was just one person, one manager on board. Currently we have 16 managers who cover almost the whole of the globe. We speak 16 languages, and we are able to run influencer marketing campaigns in Tier 1, in Europe, in Asian countries, and well, almost in Russia and also in Russia and CIS. Our database counts almost 300,000 influencers so far. We work with YouTube, we work with Instagram, we work with Facebook and Telegram, and almost any channels that have influencers inside. Talking about, as Craig helped me to warn you, this is also an interactive research. So I will be asking a couple of questions during my speech, and I would love you to answer them in the papers that you've been provided with. So once we finish this presentation, we will collect the papers, and all of you will receive a white paper on the influencer marketing tool later on. Talking about the market, how it looks right now. So we all know that influencers, let's say the users are very concerned with the types of advertising that they see everywhere. So that's why we have seen the drop of CTRs and CRs lately, and we have seen the tremendous rise of influencer marketing. Why is that happening? That is happening because almost well, according to HubSpot research, 71% of the audience prefers to make decisions which are based on their recommendations. So that's probably because people do not want to take decisions by themselves, and they would love to somebody influence their decisions. Well, that's why we have seen the rise of many agencies and platforms on the market that offer running those influencer marketing campaigns for you, or maybe somehow automating your own efforts. And that's why we have seen the rise of the budgets in this area. Well, the first question to you is whether you would love to work with an agency. So what, if you are working right now, you're doing influencer marketing, or you plan to do that, would you love to do that with an agency, or would you love to do that with through a platform, or would you look to do that and build an in-house team for yourself? If you have the answer, please put it in those papers. If we talk about agencies, how do they look like? What they're able to provide? So agencies usually have this manpower that stands behind them, and those benefits that come through that manpower are about doing strategical, let's say, strategical planning for campaigns that might last from 3 months to a year, which is very difficult to do through a platform. Also, creative and buying and digital alignment can be done manually. So with the help of the specialists that work in an agency and work and have tight connection with the marketing team on the side of a client. Also, agencies are very flexible, so that's why you are able to manage the campaigns on the go, which is not so easy to do when you work with a platform. And well, agencies are very self-reliant because usually the people that work there, they have great professional expertise, they have great background, and they know what's happening. However, if we took a look at the platforms, we know that there are also strong parts on their side. Obviously, automation and simplicity are major points there, because when you communicate through the interface and you are not able to ask many questions, so there is a very strict pipeline of what you're able to do there. Well, the choice, you also have a great choice there. The choice of micro and mid-sized influencers, they usually tend to work with the platforms. However, the big guys who give you the most reach, they usually tend to work with the talent agencies. So the takeaways of this short introduction into agencies and platforms comparison. The agencies give you the man-run processes and expertise, and they also are able to give you the creative outsourcing functions. However, the platforms give you the simplicity and the automation of the process, and you have to rely on your own expertise and your own creativity there. So once you work with platforms, you have to describe everything you would love to see in a video, in a brief, and you have to rely on yourself. However, if you work with an agency, the agency will help you do that brief. So what type of automation you would be choosing if you start working with a platform? Would you be looking for a self-service platform, or would you be looking for a fully managed platform? Would you be looking for something in between there? That is the second question. If you're so kind to answer that, thank you in advance. If we talk about self-service, so self-service is great. I mean, you can impact the production on by yourself, and you can process the brief and mention every single detail. So, as I said, everything relies on you. You rely on yourself, and you do this influencer matchup using the databases that platforms provide to you. So you have this access to a dashboard where you can select different influencers based on the KPIs that you have in mind, whether it's their reach or whether it's the index number of views. So many things to consider. It takes a lot of time if your campaign is kind of big, if you have to pick out not like 5 influencers, but if you have to pick 50. And also the ads review, you do that by yourself. So it also takes you time, but you are also very sure that you have selected the ads by yourself, and those ads are the ones that you would love to see. If you go into full service, so there is always a dedicated team. So there is a team of client success managers who runs things for you, and they control everything. On the other hand, they help you managing that communication that will last for months if you do that by yourself. And they also give you the content creation assistance, so they know how to work with particular influencer, what his strengths are, what he's capable to deliver, so which is important for you if you rely on great creativity. And this is one of the things that you have to keep in mind. Creativity plays a very major role right now. So the takeaways is that semi-service has to have something taken from the full service platforms and from the self-service platforms. So you need to have those dashboards where you can select the YouTubers based on the data that you know about them on their channels. You also have the ability to do direct payments, which is kind of important because you want to control the process, you want to control the deliverables, you want to control the quality of the content, and you decide when to pay. And also, well, the semi-service should have this stop button, because if something goes wrong on your site, for example, some add-on in your game prevents people from starting paying, you have to pause all your advertising activities, and this semi-service should have this kind of button. Of course, this is the button that you push, and the dedicated client service team starts talking to all the influencers in the media pool to ask them to stop the promotion. But talking about the payments, what kind of approach you would love to have? Would you like to do your own payments, or you would love to delegate them to an agency, so the agency does that for you, or you would love to look for some alternative options? This is the third question, and I'd love to know your answer on that. So we covered how the market looks like. So there are agencies, there are platforms, and the platforms are different. And if we go to let's say, one of the, probably the major the major player in the market, the influencer himself. So this is the influencer value pillar, and there are certain KPIs or certain things you have to keep in mind once you start working with the influencers. And what you have to keep in mind is, once you select an influencer, whether his topic, whether his videos, what he talks about, does that correspond to a topic of your game? How his audience correlates with the core audience of your game. This is very important to consider. Then take a look at the content quality. I mean, the videos that are being shot with the very primitive stuff are not attractive anymore. It used to be so a couple of years ago when, let's say, the audience of YouTube, they loved, they were okay watching the videos in poor or medium quality. Right now, everybody wants to see high quality videos and high quality production. This plays a major role as well. Of course, once you start doing your performance calculations, you will have those two metrics in mind, those index of views, and it has to be stable. So you need to see that, let's say, the videos are getting a medium number of views all the time, so there are no big spikes or at least big drops. And also the number of subscribers, it should be constantly growing. It is important. At least it should be stable but not going down. So these are, let's say, main things to consider once you start selecting the influencer. Well, and if we talk about how the industry will be evolving, what it will look like, let's say, in 1 year, we think that the platforms will appear more and more. They will, of course, change what they are offering, and they will strengthen their relations with the brands because of the processes and because of the data that those platforms offer. Of course, the creativity, as I said, will play a very important role, and that is why all those talent agencies that have the producing centers with them, they will say they will have all those creative strategies in their teams. And if we talk about the distribution of the content, it's becoming easier and easier. Of course, it's not so. It is quite easy to become an influencer with many subscribers nowadays. It takes, of course, a lot of work, and that a lot of work is connected with great content. So this is how we see the market. This is what we see how it will evolve. Thank you for your engagement. I hope that you have put down your answers in those pieces of paper, and we'll collect them right now. And once we have made up our white paper, we'll send it out to you, and so you'll know what kind of platforms we will be offering to the market very soon. Thanks a lot, and I welcome your questions.
So do you envision the platform that you're building to be working first-hand with brands, or to also be available for agencies?
Well, we will, okay, that's a good question. We have thought about that, and actually we will not be providing our service to agencies. We will be providing that only to the clients of ours, because the platform that we have in mind will it will, of course, have lots of data, but that data will be like first-party data taken from YouTube or Instagram about the number of views and channels, what they consist of, but also that data about how our campaigns have been performing before. Of course, it will be not connected with, let's say, you will not know how Playroom or Pixonic campaigns were performing, but this will be an aggregated data connected with our experience.
Okay, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the downsides of influencer marketing and how you mitigate that? For instance, if you have an influencer that does something controversial.
Well, yeah, there are certain things. Why we are an agency, because why we have 16 people in our team, because we run those big numbers of influencer campaigns each month, and of course, about 10% of those placements, ad placements, they usually have some difficulties. It's either the content, the quality of the content, or not following up the brief that the client has been providing. So we have to rework, we have to redo those things. And usually the terms of running the campaigns are very short, because for the client to understand how big was the impact of the campaign, they usually tend to put all those ad placements in a very short period of time, like 3 to 5 days, and you have to like push it in order to see the organic uplift. And of course the last part is like measuring the impact of the campaign. It's very difficult because there is no tool that will help you identify the user who viewed the YouTube video on desktop and then went to App Store and downloaded the game through the search query, or he found it somehow otherwise. So these are the biggest issues. So watching out how the content is being prepared, then managing the terms, managing the payments. It is also not so easy because most of the big influencers, they would love to get upfront payments, and you have to be very sure that they will deliver the content on time, and the quality of the content should be high enough. So that's why we prefer to work with the guys that usually deliver what we expect from them to do. And also measuring the impact of the campaigns is kind of hard. But we understand from, according to our experience, what we have measured with those hundreds and thousands of placements that we did so far, is that about 30% of the traffic that, let's say, out of the influencer marketing campaign, you got 1,000 installs that went through the tracking link, which was placed below the video. And on top of that 1,000 installs, you can easily add 300 installs, so 30% more that went through organic traffic. So this is what we see from our experience. Some other players in the market, they say it's up to 100% organic traffic. So on top of tracked traffic, you have 100% of organic traffic. Well, we think it's less, but still, it's something which you have to consider, measuring the ROI impact of those campaigns.
All right, thanks, Dmitry.
Thank you.